Welcome to OrdainTV. We're Ordain. I am specifically Scott, and this is specifically Matt.
Matt, indeed. And this is our first ever episode of OrdainTV. Hopefully it's something we're going to be doing week after week. We hope. It depends on fan response. If you guys like it, we'll keep going with it. And generally, what sort of stuff we're going to do on the show?
We're just going to talk about current events, things that are happening in the media, new bands, our opinion on things, which may not be very high, but we're going to have
we're not experts on a lot of stuff, no. But hopefully, we can at least put an entertaining spin on things. So that's the plan at this point. Yeah.
All complaints go to Matt's email, and we'll respond in due time.
Yeah. Today's topics. Today's show, we're going to be dealing with a few current events to kick things off. If only we started this show a month ago, we could have cashed in on the gold mine that was Rebecca Black Friday.
Yes. Yeah. Auto-tuned to the max. I'm sure she's a lovely girl. Mm-hmm. This might come off as jealous considering she sold how much?
Did she? Well, a lot of YouTube views, but did she sell any copies of that thing?
I don't know. I guess so, but I've seen a lot of plays on a squirrel riding a jet ski, right? On YouTube.
Well, she's done well with that, and a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon. And if we started this a month ago, we would have jumped on it as well. So I'm gonna rip into some of these guys, but we would have done the same. I mean, it's all about jumping on bandwagons. And speaking of more recent bandwagons, someone we know personally, but Steven Tyler, he sings for Aerosmith, that's it, yes. And he's recently jumped on a few bandwagons, but not of other bands, of movies. So
is he really?
Yes.
I didn't know he was on movies. What movies is he on, man?
He's not on movies, but he's trying to cash in on the success of particular movies. One example, if you have a look at this picture of his hair and his attire, he's got a very Pirates of the Caribbean thing, which is interesting because they're releasing a new Pirates movie at the moment.
Wow, that's true, and I haven't seen the movie, but did he make an appearance?
I don't know, did he? I don't think he did. No.
I wouldn't know.
Keith Richards made an appearance, didn't he?
I thought that was Steven Tyler.
Really?
No.
Okay. Alright, well, Steven Tyler's cashing in on that. And I think also from the look of not his attire, but his face, he's trying to cash in on the Resident Evil zombie thing as well. So, good job, you're a media whore, and we love you. So, if there are any options of touring in the future, we hope you don't see this video. Today's feature is band shots. What are band shots? What are they all about?
Why do we do them,
What do we mean by band shots, though?
I guess promotion shots, but they're tricky, Matt. You can do good ones. You can have your band members take the crap out of the poses that you do for the rest of your life.
Right, yeah, because it's a memory, it's a record that never disappears, especially in this digital age. You get a band shot, like a promotional shot, someone takes a picture of the camera and your fly's open and something's hanging out, your bandmates are never going to let you forget that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so when a lot of bands start off, a few things they do, start with a MySpace page, maybe a Facebook group or something, and they'll often want to get some sort of visual representation of their band, so they'll get a picture done. Sometimes it'll be a professional looking thing, sometimes not so much.
Which is strange because in this age, everyone has access to a relatively good camera, so to have a bad quality picture isn't really not an excuse.
But sometimes it's not about the camera quality. Sometimes there are a few other things you can fix up with your band shots or do a bit differently. And we're going to be going through a few of those today. We're going to go through a few do's and don'ts of band shots. So, Exhibit A, okay? Scott, I'd just like to ask you, first impressions of this particular band shot. Now, these guys look young. They look like they're starting out. They've started their MySpace. They're going to take a picture of themselves, a cool picture of themselves. But what do you see? What's your first impression when you see this picture?
I actually just noticed that it's in the back of a car. So props to the location.
Yeah.
I see a drummer who's trying to warn off vampires. And props to the ginger guy at the front.
Yeah, well, he'd probably ward off quite a lot with just that grin he's wielding there. So props to that face.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have bad shots once in a while. I'm sure it's just a bad shot of him.
Yeah, normally he's quite beautiful. Normally he's, I don't know, I've never met the guy. But once again, props for back of a car. That's an original spot. We wouldn't recommend that for everybody. The car boot isn't not going to fit everyone's genre.
That's right. And also, it's alarm bells should go off when either your mum and dad offer to do the photo and choose the car as the location.
Yeah.
Mum and dad don't do that.
If you are going to do a shot in a car, make sure it's a cool car. I can't even tell what kind of car that is, but it does not look cool. It is red.
It looks like either Toyota, I'd say.
Right.
A red one.
Okay, so just something else I'd like to mention with this is, yeah, looks kind of okay, but try to dress for the occasion. All right, so these guys look like I don't know, they're just wearing what they would normally wear to go to school or whatever it is.
It's post-grunge, Matt.
Right. Okay.
It's post-grunge.
Okay. Well, I would like to see them dress for the occasion a little bit more. Okay, and so this next exhibit is one where I think they have dressed for the occasion. They've got some consistency with what they're wearing. What do you think when you see this?
I'm thinking the 80s, you know, big fan of the 80s. Was this taken in the 80s?
I have no idea. I just found this on Google by typing in "awesome band shot," and this came up.
I feel that they're stuffing their pants with socks. Number one.
Okay.
You know,
the girls like that though, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Personal experience on that. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think something that the last shot we saw of those kids, it was obvious they were in a band. They had instruments. Now, I'm not saying every band shot needs to have instruments, but at least somehow make it obvious that you are a band. Like, for all I know, this could be an ad for an exercise-themed lesbian porno. So, sorry if any of you guys are watching. You're probably, I don't know, dead by now. This is like the 80s, but it's not obvious you're a band, as far as I can tell. Kudos on the ass touching though. That's nice. It's a nice touch.
I like that.
Okay, our next exhibit. Alright, so these guys look like they're doing quite a lot right in this particular shot. But what comes to mind for you when you see this guy?
I think there used to be 6 members of this band, and now there are 5. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not a mean guy by any means, but you know, I like it how he's trying to enhance the physique by standing to the side.
Yeah.
But that middle guy seems awfully familiar. Do we know him? He looks like he's actually out of a proper band.
Alright, well I reckon the guy on the left kind of looks a bit young Chad Kroger. I don't know. And that guy sort of between the two of them with that beard looks like something out of some sort of RPG where he's like a troll or some sort of like dwarf or something. Yeah, so sometimes, I mean, these guys have done a good job. There's nothing distracting in the background. They've all got like a consistency of look, wearing darker clothes. There's not one person like looking away from the camera or busting out some sort of cheesy grin. But sometimes it's not about what you do at the photo shoot, but sometimes it's about what you do beforehand that could be screwing it up. So for example, regularly supersizing your meals at McDonald's. That's really screwed this shot up as far as I
There's a theme though, they're all black, and you know, that's good.
So they are doing a few things right.
That's right, absolutely. It's by far the most professional one we've seen so far.
Absolutely, but one word to close this one out: salads. Alright, so this next example, I'm going to pull it up on screen in a moment. It's not a band shot, but it's something that this person is doing something wrong, which I think can affect a lot of band shots. Alright, so be aware of your surroundings.
Right. Everyone's familiar with this shot.
Who could be this oblivious, really? Right, so this is the MySpace angle girl. MySpace angle is essentially where someone holds a camera up and it's a downward shot, perhaps to try to eliminate that double chin some people can get from an upwards shot. And but if you're going to be doing that, just make sure that if you're shooting in the bathroom and you want to have the toilet lid open for whatever reason while you're taking your shot, you make sure you flush the turd beforehand.
I want to know if she was thinking about taking the shot while she was on the toilet, and that toilet's, that's been in there for only about a minute. That's fresh. She just got up and decided to go, I want to take a MySpace photo today.
Yeah, and she's happy with herself on that one. She's just experienced some relief. Look at that great.
That's what I'm thinking as well. She's looking relatively relaxed.
Right, so be aware of your surroundings. Okay, so next exhibit. These guys. Now, despite first impressions for me, that girl, sort of central to the right, sort of looks like she wants to kill herself. Doesn't look like she's happy to be there. What do you think? What sticks out to you about this shot?
Well, she's wearing an Emily the Strange, I believe it's Emily the Strange t-shirt. So this is going to be some golf band.
Is that good or bad?
Yeah, it's good. It makes me associate with why she's looking away. She is sad. If that was a t-shirt that had Elmo on it, then you'd be a bit worried, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's good to see a gender mix in this band. You don't see too many mixes of genders and I guess species types. Looks like we've got a guy, 2 girls, and Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. So there's real diversity in this lineup. But something else that sticks out to me about this particular shot is no one is looking at the camera. There's great consistency, but it also conveys to me a degree of disinterest. And I think perhaps they've been taking some cues from the Jeremy Burton school of posing. Jeremy Burton is, of course,
our drummer,
and we've done a few photo shoots with him, and he is the master of not looking at the camera when the rest of us are.
That's true.
And here are a few quick examples. Looking, I don't know, who knows?
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh, looking up at Scott.
That's a sexy face for Jeremy.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, what's he looking at with me?
He's looking at your balls. He's looking at your package.
Oh.
So he's just thinking, did you stuff the sock down there?
That's true. Let me explain that. There was actually, the roof was going to collapse, so Jeremy was the first one to actually notice that.
So he's responsible. He's watching out for us.
He saved our lives that day.
Well done. Yes. So next exhibits. All right. Here's another shot of. I believe these are two girls called Lamb and Lynx. Are you familiar with these two girls at all, Scott?
I'm not familiar with them. I guess they're, young kids' idols, possibly.
Well, you've seen the Louis Theroux documentary.
Big fan of Louis Theroux, and now I know exactly what you're talking about. Looking at the smiley faces, it's something that you wouldn't suggest or expect it was Hitler, but it is, and now I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's smiley faces of Hitler, and a few issues with that. I think that's probably going to alienate a few fans. Usually in photo shoots, you want to draw people in. You want to present an image where people say, yeah, I want to hang out with those guys, or those girls, or Smeagol. But you don't want to be turning people away, and having Hitler on your chest is going to turn people away. So what's something you would recommend to these girls?
I would suggest taking the smiley faces off, because
take it off the shirt, or just take off the shirt.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, and it's not just that you're alienating fans. Hitler is smiling in this picture, so my big problem is that it's also historically inaccurate. Hitler was not a big smiler.
It's true, and he wasn't yellow either, Matt.
That's true, he definitely was not yellow. Okay, Hitler would have a problem with this. Alright, so this is our last example, and this is actually one of us.
Yes,
and our one last piece of advice is take lots of shots when you're doing a photo shoot. Don't just take one shot and call it a day, okay? And why would you want to take lots?
Well, just in case someone's looking away or someone's holding suitcases.
That's not why we picked this one out. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes, if you're just taking one shot, there can be a problem, like a big black smudge on someone's face for some reason. And if you've only taken one shot, it's really going to be the one you're going to be forced to use.
Yes.
So, unfortunate, but it happens.
It does.
It happens to the best of us.
And today's shout out goes to Refuse to Fall. Big fans of them. They're a band from Alabama, and they're kind of alternative rock. Toby's going to kill me for trying to pigeonhole them here.
Toby's the lead singer, right?
Toby is the lead singer. I could have said something like R&B, right? So, big fans of?
Absolutely, and they do some great work. Personal favourite of mine, one of their songs is Alibi. I also like Let It Rain.
Yes.
And we're going to post some links to some of their tracks at the bottom of this video, so check those out. Super
nice guys as well.
Absolutely, and the interesting thing is, we talked about consistency when it comes to band shots. These guys have got consistency when it comes to names, because there's Toby, and there's Cody, and there's Dusty, and I think Chrissy was also there for a while as well.
Yes. It's how they're all in Alabama though, they put Y's and everything.
Yeah.
I was called Scotty, Maddie.
Yeah.
Jeremy was just called Jeremy.
Well, Jeremy's got a Y already, so he's lucky. And Trenty. Hippie.
Yeah.
Hippie. Yeah. Alright, so check out their links below. These guys are fantastic dudes. Alright, so that's it for today's show. If you like the show, add us to your favorites. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Tell your friends. Give us some feedback. Send us some comments. Send us some messages. We will respond. We're those kind of guys. We like to connect with our fans.
And if you have any suggestions again, let us know. And if you did appear in those band shots, I'm sorry. If you were fans of ours, you're probably not our fans anymore.
But look at it this way. Any press is good press. So we just gave you free promotion there. So
that's true.
Yeah. You owe us.
You could be the next Rebecca Black, right?
Yeah. So stop crying. You owe us.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, so if you guys like what you see, let us know, because that'll be the only thing that will inspire us to do some more episodes. So for now, that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Matt.
I'm Scott.
And that was OrdainTV, episode number 1, Wrap!
I'm loving it.
I'm so sick of McDonald's.